Hi guys, this is Grandma Cheep Cheep and welcome to my vintage kitchen. Today wasn't an epic fail. I do have my bread in the oven now, but it was a very interesting day in my kitchen. Everything that could go wrong with this bread did go wrong. Let me just tap on a few highlights because Satan certainly met me in the kitchen today, and I rebuke you in the name of Jesus right now, Satan. I got up so excited to make my sourdough bread this morning, and the first thing I encountered was that the recipe from my Alaskan sourdough mix was a double recipe, and it would yield 2 loaves of bread. And I didn't want to make 2 loaves of bread because I want to test out the recipe first. So I went online, got a good recipe I can put my spin on for 1 loaf of bread. Okay? The printer didn't work. I went to print the recipe out, couldn't get the printer to work. Copied and pasted, went over to Word to put it on a Word document to print it. It still didn't print. Okay, cool. I just brought my tablet on in the kitchen with me, and I was going to read it from there. Next thing that happened was I did my measurements out. My yeast died. I use this Red Star yeast. I only have 2 tablespoons probably left in here. The expiration date is July 2017. It should be good. I've been using this since I bought it. The yeast didn't foam up. It certainly wasn't because of the water, because my water was shower or bath water warm. It wasn't like scalding hot. I don't know what happened to that, but I put a little sugar in my next batch, but I used my staff, the yeast that I bought from King Arthur, just in case this yeast wasn't any good. Okay, that blew my mind. Yeast didn't proof. The next thing was my sourdough was fine. My flour and measurements were fine. Then I was going to have my KitchenAid do the kneading, and I have a replacement hook that I bought last year because I couldn't find my hook. I hadn't used it for kneading since I bought it last year. This thing, look. Okay. It won't go all the way down. It won't go all the way down, so I couldn't even use my kneader, and I had to knead by hand, which I really didn't want to knead by hand. And let me see if my camera, I didn't want to knead by hand because I have anxiety of kneading by hand for those who make bread so much. So that was another thing. That's why I knew it was Satan as soon as my dough hook didn't work, because he plants doubt in your mind when you're uncertain and when he want to get to you. But I rebuke you. You hear? Okay, after that, before that, I put some oil in my bowl. Some oil spilt on my new white shirt. You know, just a dot, but nonetheless. So I had put too much oil in there, put it in a bowl, took it out, put it in a bowl, and proceeded to work my dough, put it in the loaf pan to rise and put it here. Okay. These are the little shower caps I use for the rising method. And I put this on the loaf, put it out here to rise, and it rose beautifully. We left and came back about an hour and a half later, and the sourdough bread is supposed to rise for about 2 hours. Oh my goodness, when we came into the kitchen, you could just smell, it was very floral, okay? It was a beautiful bread smell. Okay, peeled the shower cap off. All the top of my dough came off with the shower cap. I've known from doing some research that if you're going to have a dough resting like that, to put flour on it, and then it won't, and maybe a tent. So I have my parchment paper here, and after, it didn't deflate all the way, but I sprinkled it with flour and then made a tent and left it for an hour later. What else did I do? What else happened today? Oh, I was moving the jar that I had my oil in, and it looked like just quickly doing things without giving it a thought. Thought it was water, and it didn't even matter if it was water or oil, but I hit my elbow on the island and the oil spilt on the floor, and there it was all over the floor, like I was like in a skating rink. So these things, and I was so unorganized. Everything's all over the place. This just really was a discouragement. So I just want to tell you that I will meet you in the kitchen in the morning, and we are going to do this all over again, and we're going to do it successfully, because I rebuke the thought that I'm not good enough to bake bread. I mean, you might think that this is funny, but sometimes stuff goes through your mind like that, and I want to be encouraging myself that I am good enough, that my kitchen is good enough, that my equipment that I have is good enough, that my mind and my ideas and so forth that come into my head to bring to you, my subscribers, is good enough, and I should not have any doubt. So I just want to tell Satan to get the hell out of my kitchen, and I'll see you guys in the morning.